Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the VectoScalar Tech Talk show. In this show, we always have interesting thought leaders who are sharing their insights about technology and how things are moving in the right world. With that thought, we have an amazing guest speaker this time as well. We have Ranjit Kumar, who is going to talk about enterprise migration from on-prem to cloud, where he will specifically be talking about learning from SAP migration from ECC to SAP HANA. Welcome, Ranjit, to our show.
Thank you, Vikas. Thanks a lot. So, my sincere thanks to you for inviting me in such an interesting topic, which is very close to my heart, and it is the technology which I have lived for many years. So, thank you very much for inviting me here.
That's our pleasure, Ranjit, that you have accepted to be on the show. For the benefit of audience, let me share the experience of Mr. Ranjit. Ranjit is a Techno-Management Graduate, a corporate trainer, and a proven IT professional having more than 24 years of extensive experience in Techno-Functional and Managerial operation in IT and ERP Solution. He has studied in leading institutions in India like BHU, Varanasi, Sagar University, Sagar IIM Ahmedabad. He's an MBA IT with a lot of internal certifications like SAP SCM certified from SAP AG Germany, PMP certified from PMI USA, ITL certified from the UK, Cloud Architect certified from IBM USA, Brainbench MS Excel certified, etc. He has worked with organizations like Wipro, Tata, UPTech, Visual Tulip, JKT, IBM, Kyndryl, IndiaCorp, etc. He has taken a lot of national and international training at various government organizations, including PSCs, corporate organization, management colleges, engineering colleges, etc. And while we were discussing about Ranjit's journey, he is a tennis player and he has moderated radio show as well. Before Ranjit, we delve into the technical aspect. Tell us more about your radio show thing. That how did it happen? It is quite unique.
Yes, so many years back, because I was the part of All India Radio. So there is a program which is coming into All India Radio as U-Vani. So I got associated with All India Radio for U-Vani program, and I moderated many of the program. Although there were a lot of program was there for the young generation, but there was one interesting program which I have done. That was like, if I say it in Hindi, कि गन्ने की फसल कैसे उगाते हैं. So that is the program which I have moderated, where I was dealing with the farmers and the farmer guests with me, and that was a technical challenge. And I was talking about those time when recording was a big challenge. Actually, it was all cut and redo again for any kind of mistakes you have done. So that was an interesting journey altogether. I enjoyed that. There is no doubt about it. But yes, technology has brought me here now. And it is
So
changing now.
tell us
Now
more about that.
recently, yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
How that transition happened from गन्ने की फसल कैसे उगाते हैं to migrating SAP?
That's wonderful. So that was the time when I was into college and all, actually. So that time I was leveraging that particular thing. Why? Because that gave me a lot of extra money as well, right? In addition to my studies. So that has given me the mileage, and I took that pain to anchor that गन्ने की फसल कैसे उगाते हैं and all. But yes, when it talks about technology, yes, during the education and all, I turned into IT, and I did my MBA IT, and after that, I started my journey with Wipro. Was my first organization, and then moved into various IT companies, and I landed up into one of the companies where I was leading with ERP systems. So when we talk about ERP system, that company was having the HMS ERP system, hospital management system. So I worked with that particular organization. That is how I developed myself into ERP, and then I did my SAP certification, and then finally, for many years, I'm working on SAP in various organizations. Yeah.
Okay, that's a very interesting journey. So my next question will be around that. Though most of our user must be knowing SAP, but still there might be some people who may be new to SAP. So what is SAP and what is specifically about ERP? If you can give us a very layman language understanding of that term.
Yeah, yeah, I would like to explain that, and if anybody has any questions, they can ask me anytime in the into the comment section. However, just to let you know that SAP is a buzzword which is being very much prominent these days for all the organizations. It is not. It was not so prominent almost 20, 30 years back when I talk about. But yes, these days, any organization, if you talk about all Maharatnas of India, all Navratnas of India, they are all running on SAP system. So SAP is what? SAP is an ERP system, and ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. And when it talks about ERP system, ERP is a system which is being, you can say it is a IT supported system which integrates the entire organization for their business processes. So SAP is one flavor of an ERP system. There are many ERP systems in the market, but out of all the ERP system, almost 50% of the market share are being captured in by SAP in India and abroad, in India and worldwide as well. So India, it is almost 53%, and worldwide it is almost 47-48% market share of SAP is there. So this is the market share, that is why SAP is one of the leading ERP solutions. So SAP is providing the solution to any organization to integrate the entire business. When we talk about entire business, business is being associated with a lot of your partners as well. So when we talk about partners, like you, many of the organizations are heavily dependent on their suppliers, their contractors, subcontractors, their customers, and all those things. So if you can integrate with your in-house system, if you can integrate your partners, that helps your business to grow. That becomes your flawless journey of the data movement or the information movement from one place to another. So SAP
Okay.
provides that kind of ERP solution which actually integrates the entire business with an IT supported system. So basically, it is a big application, you can say, which integrates not only the organization within, but it integrates the business partners as well. So that is how SAP
Okay.
is. SAP had started their journey. If I take you to the history of it, SAP has been started because by five of the IBM Germany guy, they left their job
Oh,
and started their company. So just to let you know, guys, that me and Vikas are sharing the same legacy.
yes.
So, anyways, so you must be knowing that me and Vikas both has worked for IBM.
Work with
So
IPM. Yes.
those five guys, Wellenreuther, Hop, Hector, Plattner, and Shira, these were the five guys who started this journey in 1972, right? And they started with various version of SAP. We call it R1, R2, and R3, right? So their business has started growing after R3, and R3 came in year 1992. So it took almost 20 years for them to develop such a robust system, right? And then they moved into, when Y2K has come and when e-commerce had come, they went into ECC. So right now, most of the organizations who are running on SAP, who has been implemented SAP few years back, they are running on ECC. ECC stands for ERP Central Component. So ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. So basically, it is Enterprise Central Component, which is the version of SAP which integrates with e-commerce and all those things, right? Other than the ERP system. And then the journey has started. So when we talk about SAP, fundamentally it is nothing but an application set of applications which helps the organization to integrate their business processes, right? And then going forward, SAP has went ahead, and now we are into S4 HANA. I'll tell you about S4 HANA
Okay.
in detail
Sure.
on this.
Sure. Sure. So, what exactly is on-prem? What is the full form of on-prem?
So on-prem is stands for on-premise, right?
Okay.
So what happened? That's a very good question, Lucas, because we have to understand that why from on-prem to on-cloud, right? And
Yeah.
what is SEC to S4 HANA? So I'll take you to that particular journey where SAP was having only on-prem solution. On-prem solution means on-premise. Let me make it very simple for people
Yeah.
who does not understand that. On-premise means basically you are keeping everything in your own server. That server can be within your organization, within your own office, or in your data center or anywhere else, right? So you are connecting to that particular server and you are running your ERP system, right? So you can, so that is called on-premise. In short, that is called on-prem. So SAP ECC was only having on-prem system, right? But everything was going on cloud. You must have heard cloud for last 5, 10 years. Everybody was moving on to cloud, on cloud, on cloud, on cloud. So now SAP had also to move into on cloud. So that is how SAP has come up with the cloud solution, right? So that is on-prem actually. Any query on this? Then I'll move forward.
I think as in when we'll be getting the query in the chat, so our audience is aware, and we are also running the message down below that in case
Mhm.
our audience is having any question, they can ask it in the chat box that they see below,
Wonderful,
and we'll be taking those questions slowly and gradually. Now,
wonderful.
definitely we can understand that the market is moving from on-prem to cloud, and a very large operations are moving to the cloud, and they have their own advantages definitely. But still, what are the few common challenges or things to be taken care of? So SAP, just an example, it can be any large enterprise application which is running on premise, like as it used to be, and all of them are migrating to cloud. So what are the key challenges that are faced by clients in typically such scenarios?
Yeah, so first of all, when the question which you have asked, I will not answer in ECC or SAP perspective. First of all, let's understand from a generic perspective, right?
Yeah.
Why people have moved from on-prem solutions to on-cloud solutions. There were a lot of challenges because of the dynamics and rapid changing in the IT infrastructure, right? We were facing the challenge of infrastructure development and infrastructure upgrades, right? For example, let me give you one small example. Anybody who
Sure.
has bought his mobile phone couple of years back, it is of no use for him because now that mobile phone will not support 5G network, right? So the hardware which we have purchased, the mobile phone which we have purchased 3 years back, it is of no use today, right? You have to upgrade with a new hardware. So what
True.
happens similarly when we talk about the on-prem solutions, having the own infrastructure, on storage and everything, we had to maintain that particular IT infra by ourselves if we are running any organization. Now, maintaining that IT infra, first of all, there is a capex and there is an opex. So, capex,
Agree.
there is a heavy capex which we have to incur for procurement of that particular hardware. Then there are operational expenses as well in order to maintain those hardware. Plus, there was always being a challenge on scalability. And these days, when we talk about big data and data explosion, all because you will be surprised to know that all the organizations, all the fastest growing organizations are having their data increase by almost double in 1.2 years. So today, if I'm having 10 terabyte of data, next year by mid of next year, I'll be having 20 terabyte of data. So the requirement of the IT infra is so high that scalability, how much you can scale up, right? So that is why people have started going into the cloud solution because cloud solution gives you the solution to have scalable solution. Number one. Number two, I do not need to go for a capex model. I have an operational expenses only. So capex is
Yes.
not there. Scalability is there. Third biggest challenge is the cyber security and all those things, right? So you need not to bother about those cyber security stuff and all those things because the native cloud providers, they are taking care of all those things by themselves, taking the backup of your data, restoring of the backup of the data, DR setup done, and all those things. So, a lot of infrastructure requirement has been reduced with on-prem to on-cloud. Right.
Okay.
So that is how SAP has also moved from on-prem to on-cloud. I'll talk about that in detail. Yeah.
So what is S4 HANA? Thanks for answering our previous question. So what is S4 HANA?
Yeah. So SAP ECC was the version of on-prem on SAP. Then SAP has thought that we cannot go ahead with on-prem for a long time because if the people are looking for on-cloud solution, we cannot survive. And that's what happened with many of the companies who has not upgraded themselves, they have died actually. Be it any large organization, be it like Nokia or any of the film companies and other things as well, you might have seen that. So what happened? SAP went ahead mm, uh, with on cloud solution. And when it comes to on cloud solution, SAP has developed S4 HANA application which can run on cloud as well as on-prem. So SAP has leveraged their ERP system, which was earlier only on-prem. Now they can run on cloud as well as on-prem. So the customer has the flexibility whether they want to use the application on-prem or on cloud. Both the features were available. Now let's come to HANA first of all. So SAP
Yep.
ECC was running on native databases like Oracle or DB2 or SQL or any other databases. So SAP was giving a lot of royalty to these database companies actually for using them. So SAP has developed their own database. That database is SAP HANA. SAP HANA is not an ERP system. SAP HANA is a database. HANA is a database. High performance analytic appliance, that is the full form of HANA. I
Okay.
forgot to tell you the full form of SAP as well. So full form of SAP is systems, applications and products in data processing. And when it
Okay.
comes to HANA, it is high performance analytic appliance. So HANA is basically a solution being given by SAP that is a complete database system. And that database system which can support on-prem as well as on-cloud. And on the top of that, on the top of HANA, they have created their own ERP system, right? And integrated the database within ERP system, that is the application basically, which they call as S4 HANA. So earlier the system was R3, now the fourth version is there, but S is being added. So S4 HANA is the latest version of SAP, and SAP has said to all the client, right? If you talk about number of customers, there are almost 4 lakh plus customers are there worldwide
Okay.
SAP. Out of that 4 lakh customers, only 20,000, almost 20,000 customers are running on SAP S4 HANA. So we have a large chunk of people who are still running on ECC. But SAP had said that, hey guys, we cannot support you after 2027 on SAP ECC if you do not migrate into S4 HANA, right? So now every organization has to move into S4 HANA by force or by choice. That is one thing. Now, what is the advantages of S4 HANA? S4 HANA is having a HANA database which is having a facility of, they have changed the database structure actually. I do not want to go into that technical things, but it is a in-memory computing database. In-memory computing database makes the things very, very fast, right?
Okay.
Okay. So somebody has asked me a few questions. I'll take those questions
Yeah,
after that.
I'll gradually take them up. Yeah.
Yeah. So when we talk about S4 HANA, S4 HANA is very, very fast system, number one. Number two, since it is on cloud solution, it gives you the benefit of being into the market with the competitive edge, right? With the competitive edge means S4 HANA solution is in-memory computing, which is quite fast, number one. Number two, it can integrate with any kind of solution flawlessly, right? And when it comes to S4 HANA, it is have a new thing which has been developed by SAP. On the top of S4 HANA, they came up with SAP Fiori. So SAP Fiori is an application development which is being done on the top of S4 HANA, which helps the organization to customize their screen in a much user friendly screens actually, right? Other than that, earlier SAP screens were not very user friendly, right? That was complicated actually. Now, with the help of S4 HANA, they came up with SAP Fiori on the top of it, where they are developing some application which helps them to develop something which can run on Android devices. Earlier, S4 HANA or ECC was only running on a desktop or a laptop solution,
Desktop.
not on a handheld device. Now you can attach your RFID devices, you can mobile devices with the help of SAP Fiori on top of S4 HANA. So that is how the journey
Okay.
has started. Now, what are the ways and means and what are the benefits and other things are there? But on the top of it, the migration from ECC to S4 HANA, as I told you that almost 4 lakh customers are there who has to migrate into S4 HANA. So they need to migrate from SAP ECC to S4 HANA. That is a migration project altogether. It is not an upgrade. It is not like you are upgrading from one version to another version. It is a complete migration. Why? Because the data structure has changed. A lot of things have changed from ECC to S4HANA. So previous versions we were doing the version upgrade, but now ECC to S4HANA is a completely a migration project. And when it comes
Okay.
to the migration project, the cloud migration roadmap is being defined, and that now most of the organizations are running on S4HANA cloud. Right now, when we talk about S4HANA cloud, means S4HANA native cloud first of all, and native cloud means like Azure or AWS or Google Cloud or any other native clouds. They provide a solution for S4HANA development. Right. So that's all about S4HANA as such.
Okay. Yeah, I think our user must have got real good understanding of, because being in technology, we have heard this term, but you have explained them so beautifully, and it was so easy to understand. In between, I have a question coming from Shubham. So Shubham is asking that, as you told that it is for large organizations are using, but do we have something similar? So Shubham is asking how small companies can also leverage SAP ERP, or are there other ERP players?
Yeah. So very good question asked, Subham. And let me tell you, when you talk about the leverage of SAP ERP for a smaller organization, of course, I understand where you are coming from, because SAP Vikas is a very expensive affair for any organization, right? And it can only
Right.
be affordable to those organizations who can afford it, right? Number one. But when it comes to the smaller organization, SAP has given a solution which is termed as a SAP B1 solution, Business One solution. So SAP Business One is a smaller version of an ERP system for mediocre level of organization or a smaller organization. And the implementation cost, my cost of the licenses, cost of the products are very less in comparison to SAP standard ERP system. Right. So B1 solution is one particular thing which is there by SAP. So SAP B1 is Business One is the solution for very small organization, where they can go for implementation is very quick. It is very straightforward, and it is very good for the smaller organization who wants to have the stable system, robust ERP system, but they do not have that much of financial bandwidth. So they can go for the B1 solution.
Okay. And are there any Indian players also in the business of ERP?
There are many actually. There are many ERP solutions which are there, but majorly, if you talk about, are the major players actually when it comes to ERP solution, because it is like Oracle is into ERP. Microsoft has come up with Microsoft 365 and Dynamics, right? Then Microsoft Dynamics is there. Microsoft has recently taken over, not recently, many years back, they have taken over Navision. Navision was a ERP system which was there, and now Microsoft has taken over that particular ERP system. So Microsoft Navision is there. JD Edward and other ERP systems are all. BAN is there, right? So there are many ERP systems which are there. Sage is there, and many systems which are being developed for one of the section. Like for example, Workday. Workday has come up with good HRM solution, human resource management solution. Now they want to develop themselves as an ERP solution as well. But there are many, but out of that, majorly if you talk about SAP, Oracle, and Microsoft, these are the three major players in ERP solutions actually.
Okay. Okay. Thanks for answering that. Shubham, thanks for your question, and I hope your question is answered. Now, my next question is, Ranjit, is around the how talent is built for SAP, because I don't think that colleges are teaching SAP system as such. So how people get into SAP officially?
That's a good question. Actually, that's the one thing which I have actually communicated to many universities and colleges as well, because, and I have been associated with a few of the engineering and management colleges where and they have accepted our suggestion, and they have started few sessions on SAP as well, right? So apart from their own curriculum, they are now teaching latest technologies as well, like artificial intelligence, machine learning, SAP, advanced Excel, means to make their students more employable, right? That is very much important. But yes, it is not the part of the curriculum in any university for sure, right? So anybody who is doing his BTech, BA, or MBA, or any stream they are in, the best part is, the beautiful thing because of SAP is, SAP does not need the technical guys. The functional people can become an SAP consultant. Functional people means people from HR, people from finance, people from inventory management, people from production department. They can go for SAP course from outside the world. There are many certification program which is being run by SAP AG Germany. So you can go and take those certification program, and along with your legacy of your own knowledge on your domain, like if you are a financial guy, so SAP FICO consultant, if you want to become a FI consultant or a CO consultant, you can go ahead and you can take the course. You can become a SAP consultant. So there are three areas of SAP that we call it as a conceptual area. One area is called development area, one area is called basis area, and one area is called functional area. So functional areas for those people who are into, suppose somebody is a sales manager and some fine day he is not liking his job and he wants to be into IT. So he can go for SD module, learn sales and distribution module, and then you can become a consultant on SAP SD. Right? That does not need any technical know-how. Whereas, yes, there are two other parts where one is development for BTech students, they can go for SAP ABAP, which is Advanced Business Application Programming. So that is a programming language. That is the only place where you need to be a technical guy and a programming guy, right? Another area is IT admin area where SAP basis guys are there who are taking care of the IT infrastructure of SAP, right?
Okay.
Otherwise, most of the people are functional consultant. So anybody who is right now studying, coming back to your question, anybody who is
Yeah.
right now studying in colleges, they can do the courses of SAP. I will suggest them to do the course from official curriculum actually, because then you will learn better, and go for certification courses and other things. Once you have done the certification course and if you have the domain knowledge, then you can be introduced into the organization as a SAP consultant. All right.
Okay.
We
That makes.
though me and you are trying our level best to push colleges to teach the industry oriented things. So yes, let's see, someday we can make a change to the world, that it should be
Yeah.
added into the course curriculum as well of the colleges, rather than making an additional subject of it.
Right, right. I have another question, Ranjit, coming from Chavi Singhal. She is asking, what are the different migration approaches that client can look forward to for S4 HANA conversion and migration?
That's a very interesting question, Chavi. So, Chavi, the simple answer is SAP has already given a roadmap. Very, very simple roadmap that we call it as SAP Activate. So, SAP Activate is the methodology to migrate from SAP ECC to S4 HANA, and it has all migration cockpits, because earlier we were not allowing anything to do in a big bang, right? So when we were going for ERP implementation, we were not never suggesting people to go in a big bang approach. We always go in a structured manner and a step by step process. But when you go for ECC to S4 HANA migration, we have to go in a big bang approach. So big bang means you are changing completely the entire infrastructure from ECC to S4 HANA suddenly on one fine day. So when given a roadmap, which is you can tell that you can say that as a methodology of migration, which is called SAP Activate. So SAP Activate shortens the time of your migration, because they have already made all structures, migration cockpits are there, entire project plan is already in place. You need not to make your own plan and other things. Entire guidelines step by step, that you should do this first, then do this first, then do this first, then do that. So all those entire roadmap, entire activities are being already given by SAP. So you have to just follow the SAP Activate methodology. So once you follow the SAP Activate methodology, you will reduce your migration time, you will reduce your cost of migration, right? And you can do it in big bang in one go, right? And it is having a lot of flexibility and the choices and other things for you to do that, right? So that
Okay.
was a very good question, Chavi. Thank you.
Okay.
Hope it
Thanks,
answered your
Ravi,
question.
for your question. Yes, I have another coming question coming from Rajesh. So Rajesh is asking that how SAP is using AI ML to provide solution, because artificial intelligence is buzzword in the industry and every product is using AI ML. So how is it applicable for SAP?
Very nice question, Rajesh. So thank you for asking. So Rajesh, just to let you know that till now I was talking about SAP on cloud and on cloud journey. So now I will talk about SAP Rise on SAP. So Rise on SAP is SAP has provided some solution where SAP is giving their own cloud solution actually. It is not like native cloud. So now SAP is taking care of all the infrastructure thing from the organization. So organization can focus onto their own core business, right? And SAP will take care of your own all IT requirements. So SAP has come up with Rise on SAP. And Rise on SAP is a bundle solution, a complete suite of SAP, which provides the infrastructure requirement and all those things. So in Rise with SAP, the biggest advantage of Rise in SAP is it leverages the power of AI and ML, artificial intelligence and machine learning. And just to let you know, Rajesh, that I have worked on RPA, robotic process automation, and we have done a lot of automation on SAP now in integration with various other legacy systems, right? So, Rise with SAP has many of the inbuilt features of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Biggest lot of data mining is also being there in Rise with SAP. So AI and ML are being a very big. They have leveraged AI and ML in a very big way in Rise with SAP. So Rise on SAP is a complete solution by SAP guys for any organization who does not want to get into all sort of hassle of maintaining their cloud and other things. So SAP is maintaining everything, all your application, all your cloud structure and everything. You focus on your business and you focus on your own core things, and SAP will take care of each and everything.
Okay, okay. That's interesting. Thanks, Rajesh, for asking your question. Ranjit, my next question is a bit different. That for the small startups who are thinking of providing a new solution to any problem, does SAP provide an ecosystem when somebody can provide a plugin sort of thing and they can make money out of it, or is it a closed system that only SAP and their own software team will build the everything end to end? How is it?
That's a wonderful question, Vikas. And many people have actually made their business empire based on that integration part. So SAP provides the best bolt-ons. Bolt-ons means the integration points. So SAP is not
Okay.
that close net kind of atmosphere. SAP can get integrated with any kind of application. So there are many people who have developed many applications, many applications, and then they have integrated their applications with SAP S4 HANA or SAP ECC. So SAP provides the very flexible bolt-ons for various applications they can integrate. So any small organization, let's take about the startups and all. So if they feel that there is some application which is required by any organization and I want to develop it, and I want to develop it in such a way that it can get integrated with SAP system. So they just need to provide that bolt-ons and SAP will accept it and you will be able to integrate that. So SAP, many organizations, if you go, they are not running everything on SAP. They have their core ERP on SAP and they have multiple other applications which they have integrated with SAP. Like for example, there are few organizations who are not running their HR system on SAP, right? Especially the payroll and all. So they have their own payroll system in other ERP or other applications, and they have integrated their payroll with SAP ERP system. So SAP provides that seamless integration with many software. So that is very easy, very easy. It is not
Okay.
difficult at all.
Okay. My follow-up question in the same line would be that sometime, as we were just discussing about the college students, sometimes college students wants to build any project. So does SAP provide some sandbox where people can run their system, build that system, a college level project? Does that ecosystem exist?
Uh, Officially, if I say, Vikas, it is only available for the organizations who are doing the authorized training of SAP into their
Okay.
organization, right? Unofficially, yes, there are many platforms which are available and are being doing. So that's the fact of it. But yes, when any students wants to learn, they need to go with the learning platforms and learning opportunities. Initially, SAP was providing some solution for 1 week free of cost server, but
Okay.
now I think they have discontinued it. Otherwise, earlier in ECC version, they were having some demo software where you go, you can create your login and use that for a week. Every Saturday they wash out that particular thing, and then once again you can create your own. But in S4 HANA, I don't think they have provided any such thing, right? So SAP has one training system which they call it IDES system, Internet Demonstration and Evaluation System. So that was there in SAP ECC, but in S4 HANA 2020 and onward version, I have not seen that. But yes, previous versions are available. ECC, the
Okay.
platform is available.
Okay. Okay. And for the benefit of our audience, we are showing down below the LinkedIn profile of Ranjit so that you can connect with him, follow him. I have a couple of questions I quickly try to cover as much as possible. So Bhavna Mia is asking, how about the security? So Bhavna Mia is asking, how is data security and compliance with industry standard maintained during and after the migration process?
Okay, that's a good one. So these days, because if you all of us have experienced the same, that during this COVID, we have done a lot of digitization, and I have written an article where I have written two lines that there were decades when nothing happened. There were decades when nothing happened, and there were weeks when decades happened. So we have done the
Wow.
digitization in such a way that whatever was the plan for many years, we have done in many weeks actually now. But what was being sidelined during this implementation? The only thing which is sidelined was security. And now a lot of people are facing the challenges of data security and other things. But let's come back to the data security part from and compliance part from the migration point of view from ACC to S4 HANA. So Bhavana, actually, when we talk about security and compliance and industry standards, which is required to maintain during the data migration, this is how the SAP Activate comes in play. So what SAP Activate has done, what methodology of SAP has done in SAP migration methodology, they have prepared a lot of migration cockpits in which they have given a lot of guidelines as well. So all those guidelines they have provided that what guidelines you should follow. Internal security, yes, any organization who are doing the data migration before the migration, of course, they need to take care of their own data with their own close net team, right? That is one thing which they need to take care of internally. When it comes to the data security from the cloud perspective, yes, there are many options which are there. Like whether you want to go for native cloud or you want to go for on-prem. Oh, sorry, rise on SAP, or whether you want to go for native cloud, or that too on native cloud you want to go for private cloud or public cloud or a hybrid cloud. Now let me explain in a very small manner. Anybody who does not understand what is public cloud and private cloud, public cloud is where you have a shared space actually, right? So you are using a shared space, and there are some security concerns of the public cloud. But when it comes to the private cloud, you do not need to worry about the security and other aspect, right? That is quite secure, and that is how these people, either it is Azure or Google or Amazon, that is AWS or any other platform, they are charging heavily on your operational expenses, because they
Okay.
take care of those data security and other things. But from the compliance and during the migration perspective, yes, the guidelines has already been given by SAP that what needs to be followed so that your data is secure. I can see one more question, Vikas, I
Okay,
think.
yeah, I think that will be the last question, and we are also getting some accolades. So Chavi Singhal said that thanks for answering the previous question. So
Thanks,
our
Abhi.
last question is coming from Kritika, who is asking, what advice would you give to enterprises just starting their journey towards migrating to the cloud? So it is for any application, not just for SAP. So what are
That's
the typical best practices for that?
interesting question, Kritika, and very, very fruitful question because many people are like, you must have seen that many a times we go with the flow, right? So we think that everybody is going on cloud, so we should also go on cloud. But you have to assess, first of all, any organization who is going to the cloud journey, first of all, they should assess that whether they need cloud or not. First of all, what is their business scalability requirement? Because let me tell you a fact that many organizations who has gone on cloud, now they're coming back to on-prem, right? So because of the cost, sometimes it is cost saving, sometimes it is incurring major cost as well. Because if you have taken something on cloud, you are bound to give the recurring expenses to that particular cloud journey. So for any smaller organization, when they are moving onto the cloud, they should first of all understand that whether they need it or not. What is their scalability plan? What is their current IT infrastructure, and how much they are doing the expenses on managing that particular infrastructure, right? Whether that infrastructure can take care of their 5 years journey or not, right? So you have to do a lot of assessment first of all, because initially cloud is like they give you the leverage that come to my thing, I'll be giving you everything free of cost. And then once you start using, you will be surprised to know that if you are having suppose for example, let me give you an example of it. If you have a
Sure.
spike of the usage on one particular day, so suppose you have taken a cloud services for 10 terabyte or 10 GB data, for example. Let's make
Yeah.
it very small for the small organization. So 10 GB is the data requirement which is right now. Now you have a spike of 1 terabyte on one particular day requirement, and then it came down. But you will be billed for the whole month for that 1 terabyte data. So I have just given you an example. It
Okay.
varies.
Yes.
The costing model varies from cloud service provider to cloud service provider. But you have to understand first of all that do you really require it? If you do not require it, do not go for the cloud. Why? Because going to the cloud is not the only challenge. You can move the cloud, but you have to make all your application cloud enabled. Every application cannot run on cloud. So if you want to run an application, you have to convert that particular application into cloud model. So then only you can move into the cloud. So all your application, whether they are cloud enabled or not, first of all you have to see that. Then you have to migrate, you have to develop, redevelop, recoding done for the making it cloud enabled, right? So before going to the cloud, we have to do a lot of assessment actually. So that's the answer,
That's
Kritika.
a very helpful answer, and I could see that for example, companies like VectoScalar Technology, who is into custom software development, every problem leads to an opportunity. So when there are problems faced by these such scenarios, definitely it would require the requirement of other software companies who can fix and make those applications cloud ready. I see another one more question coming from Ashish Negi. I hope this is last question because we are getting out of time. Ashish Negi is asking for on-premise S4 HANA deployment relying on in-memory computing. You mentioned about in-memory. So organization must ensure their hardware meets those kind of system requirement. Will companies prioritize meeting these needs and bear the cost, or explore alternative solutions in the market?
That's a good question, Ashish. So, Ashish, when we talk about in-memory computing, you are very correct that it has to be with certain specific hardware needs, and that is how SAP has developed S4 HANA. So, when they developed S4 HANA, they developed S4 HANA in collaboration with the hardware vendors. I need not to name the vendor name actually here, but yes, they have collaborated with hardware vendors and they have got their hardware developed in such a way that can provide the in-memory computing. I'm not going to the depth of in-memory as such,
Sure.
but let me make it very simple, Ashish, for all those people who are new into the technology and all. Like
Yes.
in-memory is like chip memory basically. It is RAM and ROM which we have heard about, right? So
Yes.
all those memory is there into the RAM to process the data. So SAP in-memory computing means it helps the data the report running to be very very fast in comparison to the traditional systems. In order to run this SAP S4 HANA system, definitely a specific hardware is required. If you are going for on-prem solution, if you are going for on-cloud solution, the cloud service providers are providing that scalable system and all. But if you are going for on-prem solution with S4 HANA, definitely the recommended hardware setup is required, and it is recommended by SAP that what hardware requirements are there, and they have specified vendors as well. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Ranjit, for asking so many questions. I see we were getting over time, but I appreciate you answering all the questions, and you have such a deep understanding, and that's it. I think that was make you a great trainer as well. That the way you explain things from a person who is coming from non-technical background and still knowing each and every aspect of the terminologies from where they originated. Not many people will just out of the box remember who are the five founders of SAP, right? And knowing all those definitions. So I must appreciate, and your talk has really benefited our audience. Thanks again for being on our show.
Thank you, Vikas. Thanks for inviting me, and thanks the audience for asking the questions and being making this session interactive. Thanks a lot.
And thanks to you, audience. You are always asking great questions and actively participating in the VectoScalar Tech Talk show. Let's meet next week with another amazing speaker. For that, right now, bye bye, and have a nice day ahead.